When billionaires think a regular private jet isn't private enough, they buy this. The Airbus ACJ330neo, a commercial airliner stripped down and rebuilt as a single family's personal sky palace. At $300 million, it costs more than launching a satellite into space, yet only carries a handful of passengers across its mansion-sized cabin. This flying fortress can stay airborne for 17 hours straight, crossing entire oceans while its occupants sleep in real beds, dine in actual restaurants, and conduct business from boardrooms at 40,000 feet. But here's what makes this aircraft truly insane. Everything you're about to see was designed for just one owner's personal taste. Welcome aboard the most exclusive address in aviation, the cabin. Let's start with the obvious question. What exactly do you get for $300 million? The answer is simple. You get a flying mansion that happens to have wings. The ACJ330neo's cabin is absolutely massive, measuring in at 137 feet in length. To put that in perspective, that's longer than a blue whale and about the same length as a 13-story building laid on its side. The width spans 18 feet, giving you more space than most New York apartments, and the height reaches 8 feet 4 inches, meaning even the tallest NBA players can walk around comfortably without ducking. But numbers don't tell the whole story. What really matters is how that space is used, and this is where the ACJ330neo becomes absolutely mind-blowing. We're talking about 4,500 square feet of usable cabin space. That's bigger than most suburban homes, and it's flying at 500 miles per hour at 40,000 feet. The typical configuration includes multiple bedrooms, and we're not talking about cramped sleeping quarters. These are full-sized bedrooms with king-size beds, walk-in closets, and en-suite bathrooms that would make five-star hotels jealous. The master bedroom alone is larger than most hotel suites, complete with a bed that's custom-designed to remain comfortable even during turbulence. The mattress technology is so advanced, it actually adjusts to flight conditions automatically. Speaking of bathrooms, forget everything you know about airplane lavatories. The ACJ330neo features full-sized bathrooms with stand-up showers, marble countertops, and gold-plated fixtures. Some configurations even include a bathtub. Yes, you can literally take a bath while flying over the Atlantic Ocean. The water pressure is maintained through sophisticated engineering that ensures you get a proper shower experience even at altitude. The living areas are where this aircraft really shows off. The main lounge typically features a conference table that seats 12 people comfortably, perfect for high-level business meetings or family dinners at cruising altitude. The furniture isn't just expensive, it's custom designed by the world's top interior designers and built using materials that cost more per square foot than most people's cars. Entertainment isn't an afterthought either. We're talking about multiple 75-inch ultra-high-definition displays throughout the cabin, surround sound systems that rival the best home theaters, and internet connectivity that's faster than what most people have at home. Some owners install full movie theaters with reclining leather seats and popcorn machines. The galley, that's the kitchen for those not familiar with aviation terminology, is essentially a restaurant-quality setup. Full-sized ovens, multiple refrigerators, wine storage for hundreds of bottles, and enough prep space for a team of professional chefs. Some configurations include a sushi bar, because apparently when you're spending $300 million, you need fresh sashimi at 39,000 feet. The cockpit. Moving to the front of the aircraft, the cockpit of the ACJ330neo is like something out of a science fiction movie. This isn't just about pushing buttons and pulling levers. This is a sophisticated command center that requires two highly trained pilots with specific type ratings for this aircraft. The flight deck features the latest Airbus fly-by-wire technology, which essentially means the aircraft is controlled by computers that interpret pilot inputs and make thousands of micro-adjustments per second. The primary flight displays are massive high-resolution screens that show everything from weather radar to terrain mapping to traffic information. These aren't the small gauges you might see in smaller aircraft. These are wall-mounted displays that provide an incredible amount of information at a glance. The pilots sit in ergonomically designed seats that are fully adjustable and can be customized for different crew members. The cockpit layout follows Airbus's common design philosophy, which means pilots who are qualified on other Airbus aircraft can transition to the ACJ330neo more easily. This is important because finding qualified crews for ultra-high-end private jets is already challenging. What's really impressive is the level of automation built into this aircraft. The autopilot system can handle everything from takeoff to landing in certain conditions. The aircraft can navigate complex routes, avoid weather, and even communicate with air traffic control through data link systems. This level of sophistication means smoother flights and enhanced safety for passengers. The avionics package includes some of the most advanced radar and navigation equipment available. Weather radar can detect turbulence and storm systems from hundreds of miles away, allowing pilots to plan routes that maximize passenger comfort. The navigation system uses GPS, ground-based beacons, and inertial reference systems to maintain precision that's measured in feet rather than miles. Engine and performance. Now let's talk about what makes this massive aircraft actually fly. The ACJ330neo is powered by two Rolls-Royce Trent 7000 engines. And these aren't just powerful, they're engineering masterpieces. Each engine produces 68,000 to 78,000 pounds of thrust, depending on the specific variant. To put that in perspective, that's more power than most military fighter jets. These engines are part of what makes the Neo designation so special. The Neo stands for New Engine Option, and these Trent 7000 engines are significantly more fuel efficient than previous generations. We're talking about a 15% improvement in fuel efficiency, which translates to longer range and lower operating costs. Though at this level, operating costs are still astronomical. The performance numbers are genuinely impressive. The ACJ330neo has a maximum cruise speed of 590 miles per hour. That means you can fly from New York to London in about 6.5 hours compared to the 7 to 8 hours it takes on commercial airlines. But speed isn't the only advantage. This aircraft can cruise at altitudes up to 41,000 feet, well above most commercial traffic and weather. Range is where this aircraft really shines. With maximum fuel, the ACJ330neo can fly 8,400 nautical miles without stopping. In practical terms, that means you can fly from Los Angeles to Sydney or from New York to Hong Kong without needing to refuel. This kind of range opens up routing options that simply aren't available to smaller private jets. The takeoff and landing performance is optimized for flexibility. While this aircraft requires longer runways than smaller private jets, it can still access most major airports around the world. The landing gear is designed to handle the aircraft's maximum weight, even when fully loaded with fuel and passengers. Price. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price. $300 million is the starting point for an ACJ330neo, but that's just the beginning. That base price gets you the aircraft structure, engines, and basic systems. Everything that makes it luxurious, the custom interior, entertainment systems, premium materials, and specialized equipment, is extra. By the time most buyers finish customizing their aircraft, the total cost often exceeds $400 million. Some of the most elaborate configurations have reportedly cost over $500 million. We're talking about aircraft that cost more than most countries' annual defense budgets. But the purchase price is just the beginning of the financial commitment. Operating costs for the ACJ330neo run approximately $25,000 to $30,000 per flight hour. That means a typical cross-country flight costs around $150,000 just in operating expenses. A trip from New York to London will run close to $200,000 in direct costs. For those who can't quite justify purchasing their own ACJ330neo, charter options are available. though they're not exactly budget-friendly. Charter rates typically range from $120,000 to $150,000 per flight hour. A round-trip flight from New York to London would cost approximately $1.5 million.